What's going on, everybody? It is the one and only Q here from Retro Q Gaming, and fresh off the heels of our other video where Sony actually did something pro-consumer and something completely against their own business practices and morals and, well, something that's just completely not in Sony's character, we have something that is in completely Sony's character. So, what are we talking about this time? Well, we're not talking about them restoring the PS3 and PS Vita digital PSN stores. No. We're going to talk about something that, well, shady, underhanded practices. Everyone gets it when they do it. I don't care if Sony does it. I don't care if Microsoft does it. I don't care if Xbox, well, I guess that would be Microsoft. I don't care if Nintendo does it or any individual PC hardware maker or manufacturer. They all get it equally when they do this kind of bullshit. Now, what are we talking about this time? Well, we're talking about Monster Hunter World. Now, Monster Hunter World, of course, launched, well, I guess it was several years ago at this point, and it launched on Xbox One, PS4, and then eventually came to PC. And of course, the same thing with their expansion pack as well. Iceborne came to consoles first, and then PC later. Now, this had been played off and tried to be excused in several different ways, like as in their whole, oh, the team isn't very familiar with it and all this kind of stuff. Well, I mean, Capcom generally has like 95% of their games on PC, so people weren't sure about the whole thing. And it's not even the first PC Monster Hunter game either, so there was some questions raised there too. Now, having said all that, Monster Hunter World still did go on to become the best-selling Monster Hunter game of all time, one that Monster Hunter Rise is not able to keep up with in the same pace. And of course, Monster Hunter World, on top of that, went on to become Capcom's best-selling game of all time, not just best-selling Monster Hunter game of all time. But anyway, we have some new information here. You might remember a little while back, there was the absolutely massive Capcom leak with all the ransomware and all. Well, the group that has all this information has been leaking it out bit by bit by bit, which is why we typically find out more and more, like how, say, Nintendo paid $6 million to delay the PC release of Monster Hunter Rise, and that Sony paid $6 million to keep the PlayStation VR version of Resident Evil 7 exclusive to them for 1 year, and of course timed exclusivity of the Resident Evil 7 demo. But now it gets a little bit more interesting, because with these new files that have been released, and all people have naturally been combing through them to see what kind of shady, underhanded shit goes on behind the scenes, and we have yet another answer. So, naturally, they are a business. Businesses have meetings. Meetings in official capacities keep minutes during these meetings. If you look at the meeting minutes, that's a strange one to say, for the global meeting dated on the 15th of March 2019, Capcom confirmed that Sony have paid them for timed exclusivity in a sense. Actually, you know what? That's not even the proper thing to say. But they confirmed that Sony have paid specifically to have the PC version of Monster Hunter World delayed to its later release date. The same with Iceborne, the expansion pack. And Sony's insistence of part of this deal is also why crossplay and cross-saves are not enabled. So yeah, remember what we talked about in the last video? It's all optics. Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, Epic, AMD, Nvidia, whoever it is, they're all shady, underhanded business companies at the end of the day. This is why you should not be a fanboy of any company whatsoever. But then again, fanboys are irrational, illogical, emotional human beings. But this is why I call all of them out. And in this case, Sony, this is why you're getting bitch slapped. But hey, it kind of makes sense in a way. The PS4 and PS4 Pro versions, well, and I guess Xbox One and Xbox One X versions, basically all console versions of Monster Hunter World were basically unplayable garbage. I can't even fathom playing Monster Hunter World on anything that's not a PC. And Sony can continue to throw their money around. They got me once with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and luckily, that was the epitome of a game that I absolutely could not wait for. Considering that turned out to be absolutely shite in multiple ways, some based on the hardware, some based on the software, well, now I don't have a problem. Luckily, Sony are putting their games on PC, and mine is better than the PS5 by a considerable margin, so I can just wait. If anything even comes out that I want to buy at this point.